We are live. Doing a switch above. Okay, we won't do that just yet. All right. So far, I see 70 people, 1 thumbs down. We didn't even start, and we already got a 1 thumbs down.
Yeah, I know.
People are amazing. All right. So good. The chat is up.
Yeah.
Everybody, do me a favor. Let me know if you can see us and hear us. Turn that down on your end.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Because that's going to create a little bit of feedback. All right. All right. Hi, I guess. Yeah, Joe, I was about to. This thing was about to go straight to the wall. And it wasn't the computer, it was more the camera. The camera was actually giving me crap. So, again, thank you for those sticking around. Those of you giving me the thumbs down, I appreciate that too. Thank you. You guys are awesome. All right. All right, yes and yes. See and hear fine. I can. All right, good. That's very good. It's time. Both are good. All right, so we are good. Good to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Autumn's backyard garden. I don't know her real name. I'm not going to ask her real name unless she divulges that. That's up to her. As of right now, she is the guest for tonight. And just to get out of the way, tomorrow night, Bear Independent will not be on here. He had to back out for personal reasons. So, but I got prepping outside the box to fill in his space. So that's pretty cool. So we adapted to that. As of right now, again, guys, thank you for joining me. Again, thank you for waiting. There was a lot of tech issues on my side, but I promise you, in 2 weeks, I'm going to have a better laptop, and I can finally snap this one in half. So. So, ma'am, do me a favor. Introduce yourself.
Well, hello, everyone. No, my name is not Autumn. My channel is actually dedicated to my niece who passed away in June from a brain aneurysm at the age of 21.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And her name is Autumn Rose.
Okay.
My name is Kim. But my family calls me Gypsy. That's what I've been nicknamed at birth, so that's what everybody calls me.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, now, as you know, you've probably, hopefully watched some of the other interviews.
All of them, yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So, this round is going to be basic questions. You know, the same questions I asked the other guys. Yeah. Don't snap it half. Okay, so my daughter and my son are back on here again. Pretty sure they should be in bed, but they're in the next room, by the way, so they're not even that far away. All right, so the same basic questions. Obviously, I'm going to have you guys on for a second round, so I'm going to go through the gauntlet first with everyone with the basics, and then the next interview down the line, we'll open it up to more heavier discussions.
Oh,
all right. Okay. All right. So this is. I'm trying not to let this be a one-time deal. Is the idea, provided I stay on top of this. All right. So I see that you have a gardening channel, but when you look at your videos, you see a lot of prepper style videos, if you will, or prepper related videos. So are you a prepper or are you a gardener or both?
Both.
Both. Okay. All right. So then, how long have you been prepping for?
Well, Sean and I have actually been prepping for years, but it was based really on hurricane season because we've been living in Florida since the 90s. But we really just based our preps just on hurricane season. And then the pandemic hit and our eyes opened more. And Sean and I just had a conversation and we said, oh, it's time to buckle down and just really start to focus.
Okay.
And that's exactly what we did.
All right. Well, that's good. Kevin and Lewis, thank you for the donation, guys. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the donations. We appreciate the donations. So thank you. So, well, I guess you answered it. The hurricanes inspired you to prep, but then you said kick it into high gear because of, I guess, everything that's going on.
Yes.
Okay, so that does make a lot of sense. Listen, that got a lot of people to prepare this year. I mean, there's been a bump in preppers, and I mean serious preppers. You know, like not the people who say they're preppers and they got 3 cans of bean and a flashlight and maybe a candle, right? They didn't have people are taking this seriously, which I do appreciate. Right? So, what are you preparing for? What were you preparing for, rather?
Well, always hurricane season, job loss. You know, my husband works for Homeland Security, but there's always a chance of job loss anywhere, regardless of who you work for. So there's that, economy crashing, you know, and now pandemic. So, but we've always prepared for hurricane season, always. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, that's good. At least you had a spark to have you prep, because some people don't have any, and they just prep because they want to be prepared, which is cool. But it's also cool to have a reason, and then to have that reason evolve into something else.
Yeah. Well, like, down here in the southern states, people hear, oh, there's a hurricane coming, and like the day before it hits, people go out and they'll panic buy. Well, once you've lived here for so long, 2 months before hurricane season hits, that's when we start to buy.
Okay.
But now, I mean, we're constantly, every 2 weeks, when Sean gets a paycheck, we're adding. Even if it's just $50, we're adding. So.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, so I'm not paying attention to the chat, but I keep seeing 3 pop up. Not sure what that is. Thank you, ma'am.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so when did you start YouTube? And why?
Seriously?
Yeah.
January, February, something like that. But it wasn't prepper related or garden related. I was doing other things just here and there, honestly, just here and there. And then I started, my husband said, well, why don't you just start doing the gardening videos? And I said, okay. And that's where it just took off from there, really.
Nice. And then the gardening videos turned into prepping.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been gardening for?
Well, this year was the first year that we really started getting into it. I've always had herbs, an herb garden, and things like that.
Okay.
But our garden here this year was not a good year at all, because of the hurricane season. We had so much rain that all of our crops got what's called root rot, and about 85% of our crops were destroyed because of too much rain. It rained here for 30 days straight.
Really?
Yeah, so everything got destroyed.
Damn.
Yeah.
So now, thank you for leading me to another question. Having that happen to you, are you going to develop a contingency plan? So let's say...
Yeah, we have greenhouses now.
Okay, very good. That's what I was going to...
Yeah.
All right, good. That's a good backup. So, I'd like to ask you this, because I guess you live out there, and it's always a different answer and a different perspective. What is the difference between an urban prepper and a suburban prepper to you?
Well, I would think that, because I was born and raised in Atlantic City. So I see things from both sides.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to, live back in Atlantic City, even though that's where I was born and raised. I think it would be a hell of a lot harder to survive there. Whereas here, it would be easier. We have land here. We can have gardens here. Whereas living in Atlantic City, or even in any city, really, it's like a concrete jungle. You can't do anything. You barely have room because it's mostly apartments or very small homes.
Right.
Here it's at least, there's a lot of woods around us, things like that.
Well, that's and listen, that's the, I guess the idea of us, me, family, trying to get the hell out of here is because, once you start prepping, you start realizing, okay, this shit isn't going to work for a long time. I have to, come up with a better plan. And for those of you that live outside of the city, you're already one step ahead of the game, right?
Yeah, we live north of Tampa, but we're actually going to be putting our house up for sale, and we're going to be buying a bug out location, and we're going to be moving there because it's even getting too busy around here.
Really?
Yeah.
People, I guess, moving from, bigger areas, bigger cities to your area, busy or just, yeah?
Yeah.
Same thing's going on upstate New York. People are leaving here to go there. Mm-hmm. And guys are complaining about the same thing. Guys I know that live up there complaining about the same thing. Yeah. So that's it's pretty interesting that you're experiencing the same thing we're experiencing up here.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, when guys complain about that, in my head I'm like, oh shit, man, I'm gonna move up there too someday, So I don't want to be the burden like everyone else who's moving up there. Yeah. But listen, I'll take my licks when it comes to it.
Yeah.
So, what is your biggest fear involving prepping?
I think with the coming food shortages, because I have noticed that, because my channel is based really on building your prepper pantry and how to do it with as little funds as possible. Food shortages and running out of food and not being able to feed my family. I think that's, because as a mom, I think that, my biggest fear, even when my son Andrew was growing up, I always thought, if I couldn't feed my son, that I was a failure as a parent. So that was like my first thing, my food shopping, couponing and food shopping. As long as I was doing my part with keeping my pantry full, right, and making sure that my son and my husband always had a hot dinner waiting for them on the table, my job was done. So making sure that there's enough food for my family.
Well, that's that's a very valid fear to have, right? Who wants to watch their kids starve? I'm gonna roughly say we're probably around the same age, and so we saw the commercials, in the 80s and the 90s of the starving kids. And when you're a kid and you watch it, you go, at least I was like, damn, sucks to be them, Then you get older and you're like, damn, that really sucks to be them. Like, now you have a better understanding of what they're actually going through. Not what they're going through, but sort of getting that idea of what they're going through. We're I hate to say it, here in the United States, we're spoiled. We're pampered in comparison to people who are actually starving at night. It's probably why I'm pissed at Americans, because we are very spoiled, pampered. We can get almost anything we want here, and yet we still complain about something.
Yeah.
And it's insane. So it's interesting that that your fears is what most of us preppers fear, is our family starving, and being that, and watching it and going, I could have did more, I should have did this, I should have did that. You never want to be in that boat. So I have to ask you, do you own firearms? And if you do, what is your favorite?
We do actually. I have to say it's the 380 Ruger.
Okay.
Yeah, my son has them, and he showed me how to use them and stuff like that. My husband has them.
Okay.
He has a AR and stuff like that. So.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So now, do you have a bug out bag?
Yes, we all do. Even the cats have bug out bags. The dogs have bug out bags. Yes.
Wait, cats?
Yes.
Okay.
We
Very
have
good.
8 cats and 3 dogs.
Does your dog carry his own bug out bag?
No.
No?
No, I actually looked into those where they can actually wear them, and they're a little too expensive. So.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All right, that's not bad. I know my dog, he has a camping bag that transformed into a bug out bag.
Yeah.
But I caught it I got lucky and I caught it on the cheap on Amazon like a couple years ago. If I see something, I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Not a problem. So, do you have an EDC kit?
No, but I do have, I carry a purse, obviously, and I always carry things in my purse. Like I have a Leatherman. I have a flashlight. I have, things like that I always carry with me. And my Leatherman I've had in my purse for 16 years. It's something that my husband bought for me a long time ago. So, I do have things that I do carry with me every day, but they're in my purse.
Gotcha. Okay, well, listen, that's what an EDC... A lot of people seem to think an EDC kit is a bag, and not necessarily so, right? A kit is what you just explained, something that fits in your purse or your individual pockets. Some people seem to think you need an EDC bag for every day, and you actually don't. You only need like a couple essentials on your belt, and you're good to go.
Right.
So, back to gardening. Being that this year was a washout, right? I hate to say it, and no pun intended. What were the mistakes that you learned from over the years of gardening?
Geez. I really don't think that we made any serious mistakes. I think it's just because of all the rain. There was nothing we could have done to prevent what actually happened.
Right.
So that's why we're just going to focus on just greenhouse growing next season. That's all, and maybe invest in some raised beds.
Gotcha. So I have to ask this question. Your husband, he's involved in prepping?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. It's usually like, if it's one family member, that family member has to convince the other family member to prep. So that's good that he's on board.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So do you? This is probably, it's not like question related, but I'm curious. Do you camp and practice wilderness survival?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Being as though I am disabled,
Okay.
I don't want to get hurt, honestly. I have been camping like when I was younger, but my parents' way of camping was having a very large, expensive RV. We never had like tents or anything like that, so I've never actually been camping before, no.
Oh, okay. Oh, hell. Listen, camping's not for everyone.
My son is.
Okay.
He was in what's called the Young Marines, which is like higher than like the Boy Scouts.
Right.
But it's the Young Marines. He was in that for 10 years, and he does all like the survivalist stuff, and he went out on 2-week retreats and bugged out and did all that. Like, I still have his Alice pack, and I still have his Young Marine handbook, and we still have his BDUs and stuff like that, so he knows how to do all that. I don't.
Okay. Well, listen, at least you have someone that can do it.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. So, it's like on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. It was a question, but I'll get back to it because it'll come back. So, that's what it was. Being that you live where you live right now and it's getting too crowded for you.
Yeah.
In the current situation, what would be your marker to bug out?
Honestly, my house would literally have to be on fire and unsalvageable for us to pick up and leave.
Okay.
because we have so much going on right now, like especially with our pets, because Sean and I, we foster and we rescue. So it would take a lot for us to bug out. It would take a lot.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's the misconception. And even with me, when I first started prepping, I thought like bugging out was like the first thing you do. Right. But you get older and you start realizing, all right, like for example, here in my apartment, everything is an acceptable loss. So I'm not married to anything. Though I have a lot of food here, we have water, we have supplies. If we have to leave, we have to leave. And I, would not condition, but, tell the wife and tell the kids, listen, if we have to bounce, we have to bounce. We can't take a lot of this stuff with us. And you have to know that, especially living in a city, that this shit is detachable. Once you leave, you're gone. You can't take it with you. It doesn't matter how big the vehicle you have. You cannot take all the stuff with you. At least not living in an apartment building.
Right.
So, do you have any communications devices? Do you have a ham radio, a two-way radio, like a Bofang, anything like that?
Not yet. Sean is actually looking to get a ham radio. But in order for us to get our licenses, the closest place for us to go to get our ham radio license is 4.5 hours away in Fort Lauderdale.
Damn.
Yeah, and we're not willing to travel just to go get a ham radio license. Yeah.
Yeah. So, why are they so far from one another? Isn't that simple?
I don't know.
Here in New York, the closest class is like 2-3 hours away. I'm like, I'd be damned if I drive that just to talk on some radio to a nerd. I'm out on that, So, but I am going to get it for those of you that are about to, like motherfuck me. I'm gonna get it. I just gotta, So, your personal opinion. What are your predictions for the rest of this year?
Well, with this election, God, it's terrible what we're being put through. I hope that the right man stays in.
Okay, no, I hear
you. But I think that regardless of who gets in or who stays in, okay, it's going to be hell regardless. I think we're going to see more food shortages. If they try and push a vaccine on us, I'm not taking it.
No.
I don't think it's going to be good for any of us, regardless. It's just like, I'm sure you heard what happened in Philly last night.
Yes.
I have family that lives in Philly. My husband's from Philly.
Okay.
This is scary.
The crazy thing about Philly, glad that you brought it up, because, hopefully I can do a live stream, not a live stream, but a live stream on it in the next couple of days. But what happened in Philly was insane, because the guy had a weapon visibly on TV in front of millions of people, and yet somehow the cops are to blame, which is insane. And then people are like, well, why don't they shoot him for the legs? I'm like, what do you fucking think they are? John Wick? You think they have it like that? They're cops. They're trained to shoot like one way. So with that, this thing in Philly sort of just taught me that people are looking for any excuse to fight, argue, and burn shit down.
And loot.
Loot, right. Because if a guy has a weapon in his hand and the cop shot him and people are still crying, well, you shot him too many times, I'm like, what did you think the guy was going to do? Stab him once too? No, don't work that way. Listen, it's just asinine where this is going with the reason to protest and act like an asshole, if you will. I know downtown they were getting stupid last night, and I'm sorry I missed that, but I was at work. But I know that if it's going to get ugly tonight, I'm going to head down there and try to live stream that the best I can.
Good luck. I wouldn't go down there. Mm-mm.
You know what? I like to raise the bar each time I
part of Philly did that happen in? Because I can't find of where it actually happened.
I have no clue, actually. I just, people say Philly, and I just think Philly's like, just all of Philly. But it wasn't, yeah. You know
my
what?
family lives in South Philly, so that's why I'm wondering, where is it happening?
Oh.
Because my husband said if it happened in North Philly or West Philly, that's the bad parts.
All right.
And I'm like, well, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Didn't matter where it happened. It's burning for a stupid reason. It's burning. So it's just again, it's incredibly stupid. So I mean, being that you gave us your prediction, I don't know, man. I just think, like my last video, apparently I pissed a lot of people off, and not that I do. I get a kick out of pissing people off, especially when you do a YouTube video and you're telling people calm down. It's not that bad. Like what we're going through right now is hardships. It's bad, but it's not doomed bad. It's not end of the world bad. It's just we're gonna get through this. We've been through this before, but a lot of us don't remember this. Civil rights movement, when there was a lot of fighting, but that was more black versus white. Nonetheless, we went through this before. When Martin Luther King was killed, the cities burned, right? When Medgar Evers was killed, a couple places down south, they burned. So we've been through this kind of thing before, and that's why people are like scared and going, my God, this is the end. It's not. We've had this happen. This is not the first time. Though, now you're entering a shit economy and a pandemic, whether you think it's fake or real, and then a food shortage. The trifecta, if you will, is there. But I don't think I think it's going to get bad, but I don't think it's going to be like doom and gloom, like the road. The road, that was doom and gloom shit,
Yeah, I watched that the other night. Yeah.
Depressing, right?
Very. Very.
All right, so now we're going to switch gears a little bit. Not switch gears, but I'm going to ask you a straight up question. Does being a female in the prepper universe have any disadvantages?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I think that, I think as a community, especially the one here on YouTube, I think, just like you reached out to me to do this interview, and to be honest with you, I was excited. I was honored, because I watched all the interviews and I said, wow, this really is a great community to be a part of. And every time I get a new subscriber, I get people all the time that tell me how much they appreciate me and how much they love me. And hey, listen, I love you too. You are my family. You are my friend. This is such a wonderful community to be a part of. There's no bias here. There's no hatred here.
Well, I have to give you a heads up. It's coming. When your channel grows, the hate is gonna come with it. It's automatic.
I get some hate comments. I do, but you know what? It's called block and delete.
That is true.
I don't care. You're not gonna try and sway me from doing what I love and trying to put a message out there so people can be prepared just because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Absolutely not. No.
Well, I like that. I like your viewpoint. Mari. Sorry if I screwed that up. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. West Philly and another area. It wasn't South Philly.
Okay. Thank you.
They're popping. Okay, and he says they're popping off in DC right now as well. All right. Listen. It's gonna. I don't know, man. I think the police or the mayors need to drop the hammer. That's the problem. These shitbag mayors are not dropping the hammer, therefore creating this thing we got going on right now, which is insane.
And it's all, if you've noticed, it's all run in Democratic-run cities. And I hate to say, oh, it's Democrat, oh, it's Republican. It's right in front of you. It's all Democratic-run cities.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. And they're like, well, they should protest. I'm like, yeah, people should protest without burning shit and stealing shit. You want to fucking scream and yell, fine. But beating up cops and shooting cops in the face and throwing...
But what they're screaming, did you hear what they were screaming in Philly?
No, I didn't hear it.
Well, I'm not going to repeat it because it was vile.
Okay. I mean, you could say it on here, but I don't care.
I won't repeat it.
Okay.
It
Well,
was that vile.
you tell me later, and then I'll repeat it. You know, because listen, the one thing about this channel, and I guess some people they have it wrong, but I get demonetized on a lot of my videos, you know, because of the cursing and shit. So that I don't care about, right? Because it's part of freedom of speech, and the thing is, YouTube tries to control you and how you say and what you say. So cursing is one, right? But now if you talk about something like Black Scout Survival, a lot of his videos are being demonetized, and he's not even cursing. He talks about the Biden thing. They demonetize his videos, or they delay the notifications to his video to his subscribers. So he's obviously getting screwed around with. A lot of my subscribers are saying right now that they're being unsubscribed.
I saw that.
Right, and then they come back and I'm being unsubscribed. And this week alone, I must have gotten at least 10 complaints about that. You know, and I complained to YouTube, and YouTube gives me this bullshit. You know, oh, it could be a junk thing. You know, it could be a junk account, and that's why they got rid of it. I'm like, no, the account's not disappearing. They're being unsubscribed. You guys gotta, you know, look into it. You know, and I did call the guy liberal, so maybe it didn't work out in my favor. You know, but listen, it was just one of those moments where I was like, he or she, whoever it was trying to play me like I was stupid, but we know what's going on, you know. All right, so being that you're a gardener, what is the difference between a homesteader and a prepper?
A homesteader, really, we're in it for the long haul. Because that's what I consider myself to be. I guess I'm a prepper and a homesteader. I don't know. Can I be both? I think I can, really. I think I could be anything that I want to be.
Yeah.
But I think I'm a homesteader. We're in it for the long haul because we can, you know, grow our own food, can our own food. Have you started pressure canning yet?
Mm-mm. Every week, man, it's like, all right, this week I'm gonna do this, and then you know, things pop up. But next week, no, I'm actually tomorrow I'm gonna go to the supermarket. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna get rotisserie chickens. I'm gonna drop them in a pot, make soup, and can that as my first canning.
That's one way of doing it, yeah.
Oh, what's the other way? Doing it from scratch, right? Yeah.
But I like being a homesteader because, like I said, we are in it for the long haul, you know. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's the homesteading thing is where I would eventually like to be, but as of right now, I'm trying to learn little homesteading skills, like, you know, the lead up to it. But yeah. I'm by no means, but like, there's some homesteaders on here that are like, you know, they're squared away, man. They you look at their channel, you're like, holy shit, could I do this? Would I do this? You know? Yeah, farmer, right. Homesteading is the ultimate prepper. I think that's the end game for all preppers, right?
I mean, I can't do a lot of the things that a lot of homesteaders can do because we live in suburbia. Like, I can't have chickens.
Right.
You know, I can't have livestock, but I can have a garden.
You're allergic to them?
What's that?
You're allergic to the livestock?
No, we can't have them.
Oh, in the area. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So, I guess this question's for you because I don't have a clue. What's the best way to store potatoes long term?
By pressure canning them.
Oh, yeah? Okay. So, wait. I'm going to have to ask you that a little later on then because, you know, the canning stuff. There's you and there's another lady that I need to live stream with. Not on here, but me and her need to Zoom, not live stream. And she's going to walk me through the whole pressure canning thing. Because I'm 1,000% sure if I leave it up to myself, I'm going to blow something up. So I definitely need, you know, guidance with that. So this is a question I sort of jumped over. Again, with gardening, how do you get rid of? No, have you had a pest problem? Mice, rats.
Without a doubt.
Okay, so how do you get rid of mice, for example?
I haven't had that problem.
Okay.
So, and I don't have that problem because my dogs,
Okay.
especially my one dog Ridley, because he's a hybrid wolf. We don't have vermin in our backyard because of him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, where can I get one of those? That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
He's a rescue, right?
yes, he is. Yeah, he's a hybrid wolf, and he catches everything between snakes and squirrel, raccoon, everything. We have to keep up on his shots because of what he does.
How old is he?
He's 6.
Wow. Okay. And do you think the cats also? Because someone mentioned it. Do you think the cats play a role in it as well?
No, they're all indoor. We don't let them out.
Okay. All right. So yeah, because everybody here is screaming cats.
Yeah.
Well, that was like the first thing I thought when he said, when I asked you the firm, I'm like, but she does have cats, and but she said they don't get outside. Uh-oh. All right, guys. For those of you still on, I lost connection with Kim. I'm gonna get it back, so give me a couple of seconds. So one thing about technology, guys, it sucks. So let's pull it back and see if I can get it up. Living in Macon, West Virginia. All right, so I'm trying to call her back. Like I said, give me a couple minutes. Yeah, her connection got kicked. Yeah, I know. Prepper outside the box. This is the tech issues I've been having, but I mean, I've been having personal tech issues. So, I'm actually gonna have to wait and call her back. Hold on. So Sean isn't there. Well, she'll call me back, rather. All right. So while we try to get her back, or while I try to get her back, guys, do me a favor. Start lining up some of your questions. And when I tell you it's question time, do me a favor and start asking those questions. But let me try to get her back on the horn real quick. It might have been from her end. Angry just called Barrett and put him on speaker. Prepper Nation, that's a good idea, actually. That's not all right. For whatever reason, she's still active, but not picking up. Oh.
Power outage.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So hold on. Let me get you back on.
Okay.
All right, guys. There she is. She had a power outage, so that's why, she went missing for 5 minutes. But these are the things we have to deal with today's tech. You swear we've gotten better by now, but no. Shit keeps happening. Whatever, it is what it is. So, while you were gone, by the way, I told people to get their questions lined up until we pulled you back on. So, YouTube is censoring us. Bullshits. Yes, Steven, YouTube is... though this wasn't a YouTube thing. Oh, again. She cut out again. I think her power went out again. So she'll call us back when she is ready to talk to us. Damn, that sucks. So anyway, Mark Chase. I am looking at an Apple 16-inch 2019, sort of top of the line, because of, this is an older model. This is like a 2015. It's a slower computer, so it is having trouble processing a lot of the power and data that's going through it. It is hanging in there today, but I am going to. I did order a new one, and now I have to wait a couple weeks to get it. But I like Apple. I'm a big Apple fan. I won't even look at anything else, just because it's my thing.
Now the internet's going in and out.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see how much more damage we can do, and before they cut you off again. I mean, because they're like, "Oh no, she's talking to him. Cut her off." Yeah, I wish I had that much clout. USB battery backups. Carter, yes, Carter's. I have a lot of battery backups in the house. I have a lot of the like the portable batteries. I have a battery. It's like a 3-pound by OmniCharge. I have a lot of those as my backup in case I lose power. So yeah, I'm squared away on that end, but I am looking for solar power. Catherine, as far as a perimeter alarm, that's not my field. You're probably better asking Prepping Outside the Box or Prepper Nation for that recommendation, if you will. All right, guys. So while we have Kim back here, start going with the questions before the internet cuts her off again. And there's been technology, love and hate it. Yep, exactly, Debbie. It sucks. Oh, okay. So good question here. Starquill asks, do you make your own medicines from herbs like tinctures or pills?
No, not yet.
But,
I'm not. I haven't dabbled in anything like that before. No.
Oh, well, hell, if I had a garden, I definitely would. I've always been curious about that.
I dehydrate all of my herbs,
okay,
and I dry can them, so they are set aside, so I can learn how to do that type of thing.
Gotcha. Very good. All right. So Prepper Nation just asked, what is the easiest food for newbies to garden? To garden for the first time, I guess.
Besides an herb garden, I would say tomatoes, any kind of peppers.
Okay. All right. And what is your favorite item to can?
I would have to say potatoes. They're the easiest. Greens, like escargot, mustard greens, collard greens, carrots, and anything really. It's all very, very easy to do.
Okay, very good. So
it's time consuming, but it's easy to do.
There is one more question I had to ask you. This is a moral question,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so I think you've heard this question before, but during a grid down situation, you're minding your business, walking in the woods, bugging out, and you are 3 days in, and you come across an obvious prepper stash. You open this thing up, and it's like Christmas time in the woods, right? Do you take it or do you leave it?
Take what I need, leave what I don't.
Well, very good. That was a straight answer. Some people I love, not that a lot of people danced around it, not on here, but when I ask that question on like Instagram or the Facebook community, people be like, well, there is and I think Alaska Prepper had one of the best answers because he had a three-part, right? He had a 3-part answer, which is really good. And then yours is just straightforward. So everyone so far on here has been straightforward and honest, And then like some people say they'll leave it, but I used to say leave it, but I'm like, depends on the condition, If I'm by myself, I'm leaving it. If I have my family with me, I might take some things, but I'm not taking all of it. If we can go without touching it, we definitely will.
Right.
We can make it a couple more days.
It all depends on the scenario, really.
That's the other thing, right? If you're in a scenario like the road, you're taking it, So that's the beginning of grid down scenario, you can leave it. But 10 years in, no food, I think everyone's taking it, because you could be nice only for so long. And 10 years in, if that supply is still there, I'm going to assume the person is either dead or can't get to it,
Right, but you also have to look at the situation. Was it dumped to lighten the load, or was it left there to set a trap? There's so many different things that would run through your head when you see that. Was it gone through? All right, then I'll take what I need, leave what I don't.
Right.
Or is it just sitting there looking a little too obvious?
Gotcha. Right. It's funny. It's a quick story. I found a Yeti cooler
those are expensive.
Right, and I found one in a bush. So, right. So somebody apparently stole it, and they threw it in the bush, and now I'm staring at it. I must have been staring at it for 5 minutes, like, why is this Yeti cooler here? Is this a real Yeti cooler? Why is it there? Is there a head inside? I had all these things going through my head, so I'm walking the dog nonetheless, right? And so I told the dog, I'm like, sit, and I go to look at it, and I'm staring at it. I'm now in front of it. I'm like, this can't be, this is too good to be true. These things are expensive. So I open it up, and it's a slipper and a pack of peanuts. For whatever reason, it's in there. And I look around, and you could tell whoever took it didn't know what they took, because they took the little grate thing that goes inside that you could put on top so it doesn't get wet but it stays cold kind of deal. So it's like this little grate that comes with it, like a little basket that fits right inside the Yeti cooler. And that was out, and the cooler was sort of partially open but not all the way. So whoever took it had no clue what they took, right? So now I'm sitting there going, what do I do? How do I give it back? There's no one here. It's like a Tuesday morning. It's probably been sitting there for a couple of days. So I said, fuck it. I took it. Right? So I open it, and I check the seal. The seal was brand spanking new. Brand new. The cooler looked like it might have been a week or two old, just judging from the seal and the usage, right? So I took it, I cleaned it out, I bleached the hell out of it. Now I got a Yeti cooler,
Wow.
But that's the thing, right? So now when I'm looking at it, the prepper side of me is like, but what if this belongs to somebody? I'm like, who in their right mind would throw a cooler in the bush? And it wasn't like it was hidden. It was like the guy was running and was like, "Oh shit!" and then threw it threw it over his shoulder into the bush. It was just laying there.
My husband, being law enforcement, he'd be like, "Was it used in a crime?" Toss the.
But that's why I was staring at it. I'm like, what if I open it? There's a head inside. Now I gotta call this shit in. I gotta get questioned because they're like, "Well, how'd you find this thing? Whose head is it? Do you know the person?" So. That's what took me so long to open it, But and now I got a free cooler. Like I said, I was overplaying it too much. It was just
But that's what preppers do. We overthink. That's the bad part about being a prepper. We overthink.
Yeah, no, that was And Armageddon Prepper, it wasn't looted. It was obviously used, but whoever was using it got it stolen, and then that person threw it away. So it's just interesting what people are stealing around here these days. Now, over here where I live, we live across the street from a park. Whatever the park is, right? We live across the street from the park, and on not a regular basis, but probably once, twice a month, you'll see somebody's luggage spilled all over the trailway. So what they're doing is they're stealing luggages from people. Right, and then they're running to the park and they're dumping it to see if there's anything valuable. I mean, most people don't put valuable shit in a suitcase anyway, right? Crackheads are coming back in full force around here. They're breaking into cars on a daily basis, so it's a continuous problem. It's a continuing problem here now. Crackheads disappeared. Now they came back. I'm seeing crack vials in the street. I think the city's going back to the 80s, But because I grew up in the 80s, I'm sort of used to it. I'm not like a lot of these transplants. They come here, they love the nightlife, and they're oh my God, this is great. And as soon as some shit goes wrong, back home they go.
Mm-hmm.
But so questions. Someone had a question here about gardening. What would be the easiest thing they can for first-time canners, including myself?
Honestly, I would go with like frozen vegetables.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're already cooked, they're already blanched. You don't have to do anything to them.
No shit. Okay.
Just defrost them, and can them.
Frozen vegetables. So I should start with that.
Yeah, that's easy. That's how I learned.
Okay. No. All right. So the chicken soup idea, because you looked disgusted when I said that. Like the cheating, you were like, "Oh, he's gonna cheat his way to this." With the, because I just thought chicken soup would be like the easiest thing, because I know how to make it, and then it's already made. So if I can the chicken soup, do I put noodles in it?
Well, I've made chicken soup as well, and I didn't put the noodles in it only because I had a fear that the noodles would become mushy.
Okay.
So I wouldn't.
All right.
I didn't do it because of that fear.
That makes sense, because that's why I'm asking, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, who wants to eat mush, you know? I guess you can add it later. You can add the pasta later.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Tony, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. So, Kathy asked, what has been the greatest lesson for you? I guess involving prepping.
Oh my gosh, my greatest lesson. My greatest lesson was learning how to pressure can and being taught how to do it, because when I first started doing it, I ordered all these books and all these manuals, and it was like reading Chinese. And someone actually, just told me, this is how you do it. And it was in plain English, you know what I mean?
Right.
Step by step. So that was my greatest lesson right there, was learning how to pressure can. And now I can't stop pressure canning. It's like a passion for me.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, so do you compost, and what do you use?
Yes. I do compost, and it's just kitchen scraps from fruit rinds and vegetable rinds and stuff like that.
All right, so that, I mean, again, I don't know much. I don't know anything about gardening, actually. Not that I know much. I don't know anything about gardening other than you put a seed in the ground, you pour water, and you hope for the best, right? But with composting, I guess that enriches the soil, right?
Yes, it does, but it's not just the compost that you get from your vegetable waste and from your fruit waste. It's also coffee grounds, it's eggshells, it's you can also use human waste. I didn't know if you knew about that. You can use human waste as well. You can. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You can.
Okay.
I don't, but you can. But what I do is I buy bagged cow manure.
Okay.
And I make compost out of that as well.
Oh,
so,
all right.
Yeah.
So Greg is asking, can you can raw baby spinach?
Yes, you can.
You can. Okay.
Yeah, but what I would suggest you do is cook it first for like 3 minutes, and then put it in there with some hot water and some salt.
Okay. Someone is asking, S. Moore was asking, do you dehydrate? You do?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a dehydrator, yeah.
All right, very good. Replace my drink drug as a canning extension. Right. All right, so let's see a couple more questions, because we are at the hour mark, or almost at the hour mark. I was going to ask you a question about canning. So you said frozen vegetables are first to go. Try not to cheat using chicken noodles rotisserie, right?
No, I mean you can, but like I've never taken like already cooked meat and canned it. So I don't know like how the consistency would be after you open that can up and eat it. Like I always just take like raw chicken or raw turkey or raw meat in general and can it while it's raw.
Oh, I see.
I don't know what that consistency is going to... I don't know if it's going to turn to mush. I don't know if it's going to be disgusting. You know what I mean? So I would just take, honestly, boneless, skinless chicken, and dice that up and put that in there, along with whatever vegetables like carrots or onions and stuff like that. Your chicken broth.
Oh shit! Okay, I get it now. All right, because
Yeah.
it could. Oh, all right. So you know what? I'm gonna try both. I'm gonna try the what you just said, the raw chickens, raw vegetables, and then I'll try to and see what comes out. What comes out? What? And if it comes out like shit, then you can say I told you so. That's the rotisserie chicken anyway. Jelly jam, easy and delicious. Someone just told me jam and jelly.
Yes.
Wait, you can can that stuff?
Yeah, you can make it yourself. Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know that. I mean, I have this giant book over here. Two of them that I've yet to crack open. One is like the Homesteading Bible, and the other one's a canning book. I yet to crack it open, but I didn't know that. That's pretty good. Freeze dryer, which is new. Oh, would you practice freeze drying?
Yeah, actually, I was just talking to one of my subscribers tonight about that, and they told me what website to go to buy a freeze drying machine. Way out of my league, but she said that I can. The company will do payments with me, but that's payments on a $3,000 machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's way too much money for me. Yeah, yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, but I don't have room for it.
Yeah,
And
they're way too expensive for me.
Right. They're expensive, too big, and they make a lot of noise.
How do they?
Right. Oh, so Frank Spees is asking, best pressure canner to buy.
What is what's the one that I have? Presto. I think it's Presto.
Yes.
The one that I have.
Yeah, I have a Presto too.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's
I got it at Royal King for $89.99.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I got lucky with this one. Right, I bought a Presto too because one of my subscribers was emailing me and telling me like which one to buy. So she got me through that whole process of buying the right one. So now I need the next step is actually canning. So I'm definitely going to pick some people's brains, including yours. Beta, thank you for the Tactical Gary, man. Thank you for the donation. Tactical Gary, guys, has a YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. I like it. All right. So if you don't mind, head over to this channel and check it out. All right. North Shore Preparedness, Prepper Now. You guys can head over to their channel as well. Like and subscribe to their channel. Do me a favor. North Shore Preparedness, put the link to your channel in here. Prepper Now, you know what to do. Prepper Nation's on here. Most people know who he is. But if you guys have your link available, throw it in the chat section, by all means. Alright, so I think we are at the hour mark. We're going to take in a couple more questions. And see where that goes. And so, yeah, everybody's saying noodles and rice do turn to mush. Okay.
Yeah.
So, with the potatoes, you would put them in raw, I take it.
Yes.
And so when you're canning it, right, when you're steaming it or whatever it is, pushing the heat out, the air out, sorry, then it cooks? Is that how it works?
Well, what you do is, like, I don't know if you would be doing it by the pint or by the quart. I normally do them by the pint because you can fit like 2 potatoes in a pint-sized jar, and that's good enough for me and Sean for dinner. You cut them up, put them in there, put hot water in there along with some salt, and then you get your air bubbles out as much as you can. And then once you put them in your pressure canner, I think it's 35 minutes or something like that to pressure can at 10 pounds of pressure.
My pressure canner doesn't have a gauge on it. I think it's a weighted...
Oh.
Do I need a gauge?
Mine has a gauge, yeah. I don't know how the other ones work.
Well, we will find out when. If my apartment blows up, then I guess I needed a gauge. But I was told again by one of my subscribers. I was told this was one of the better ones because it's one less thing you have to worry about. like cleaning or something like that. I was like, all right. Kathy Bennett asks, any advice for storage? I guess storing the can.
Storing cans?
Yeah, the jars.
Oh, well, they're not supposed to hit sunlight. No sunlight is supposed to hit them. So keep them in a dark place, in a cool, dark place, and make sure there's no humidity, because humidity, grows mold, and you don't want mold, growing on those jars. So.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Indiana Prepper, thank you for that heads up. Guys, also, Pinball Preparedness is in here as well. He's floating around in here somewhere. Head over to his channel, too, and like and subscribe. Pinball Preparedness, North Shore Preparedness, and Prepper Now, they're all like older guys that are more calm, right? They're like the opposite of me. And actually, Be Ready Today, I saw him in here somewhere. Head over to his channel as well. That's another guy, the opposite of me. They're more calm. You want to listen to somebody to soothe you at the end of the day, you listen to those guys. You want someone to motivate you and wake you up, you listen to me, right? So that's how it goes. There's so many different styles on here with prepping. It's pretty awesome now. It's not just one set role. You have Autumn here, who's really good, especially with the home preps and how to keep them and organize them and things like that. I think that's pretty cool. That's what caught my attention about you, was one of the videos you did on home preps. You had most of your food like laid out on a table, something like that. It was like a video you did a couple months ago, and I was like, whoa, that's interesting, and that's why you're on here. I do get a kick out of a lot of smaller channels, and including myself, because we have different ways of thinking that most people are not used to. Right, and that's why the channels I mentioned, including Prepper Nation and Alaska Prepper, their thinking breaks the mold of prepping. It's not the same, one-track mind kind of deal. So he's forever shaming Prepper Nation. Well, listen, Prepper Nation, I'm not like shaming him about his age. He's just an older guy. He's more he's more subtle and easy to listen to, and he brings out facts. So that's what it is. Zoom canning class. Ronnie, oh wait, I guess they're talking to you. What would be your view on Zooming a canning class, being that you do it a lot?
Zoom?
Yeah. You don't know what that is?
No.
Really? Okay. So Zoom is sort of like what we're doing now, but instead you open it up to, let's say, 20 people. So 20 people are watching you can, or whatever it is you're talking about, right? Yeah, and people would absolutely listen to you on that,
Oh, okay.
All right, and so it's interesting. It's an interesting concept because a lot of people are doing it now. Like workout guys, gym dudes, they're Zooming their workouts in the park. So they're in the park working out by themselves, and you're like, who the hell is he yelling at? But he's talking to the screen at the other people he's Zooming. So it's pretty cool. It's just something to think about, And when we go off the air, don't leave yet. I have a couple things to let you know about. AP, Linda, Prepper, Canning, and Storage. Go to Linda Pantry. All right. I got it, guys. Yes, guys. Anything over 40 right now feels super goddamn old. At least to me. I get out of bed now and I'm like, what the hell just happened? It's like the youth got sucked out of me overnight, But as long as I can still bench and squat, I'm hanging in there.
Oh yeah. It's like my son. My son's a bodybuilder.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's all he does, right? That's all you can do now. Lift weights. All right, guys. We are going to wrap this up. Kim or Autumn, Kim, thank you for being on the show.
And
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's a blast. I love it.
Not a problem. This was fun. And guys, for you, those of you watching, do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe. Head over to Autumn's Backyard Garden and like and subscribe to her channel, please. By all means, I will put the link to her channel in the description section below. All right. So, guys, last minute announcement. So, I was supposed to have Bear Independent on last night. He backed out for personal reasons. I did scoop up Prepping Outside the Box. He will be on tomorrow night. So, this should be interesting. Prepping Outside the Box is a Marine. I don't think he's currently serving, but nonetheless, his channel opened my eyes to a lot of different things on the way he thinks from his experience of being out overseas, right? Across the pond, if you will. So, with that, you can also head over to Prepping Outside the Box's channel, like and subscribe to his channel, and come back tomorrow night for a live stream with him. Hopefully, we don't have any technical difficulties, but being that I'm pissing YouTube off, who knows, right? So, guys, thank you for joining me tonight, ma'am. I will talk to you in a bit. All right, guys.